Welcome back to Foundry Talks. I'm Rachel Stoyanovsky, and in today's episode, I'm joined by Cory Falter, who is a partner at Lure Agency based in San Diego, California. We talk about everything related to B2B sales and marketing for hospitality, and specifically how the traditional cold calling, email blasting, just checking in, outreach from sales teams to drive business really don't work anymore. He gives us a fresh take and new insights on a modern method that has been proven to work, something him and his team have developed, and dive deep into a lot of things that hospitality professionals will understand, pain points that we all share, and how we can overcome them. Really talking about how to update your website to make sure that you're getting qualified leads and shortening the sales cycle to make sure that you are really building trust and that it's a human-centered and relationship-based transaction. So if that resonates with you, we think you'll find a lot of insights, and let's get into it. Welcome back to Foundry Talks. I'm Rachel Stoyanovsky, and today I am excited to welcome Cory Falter to the podcast. He is the partner at Lure Agency. So Cory, welcome. We're so happy to have you on with us today.
Rachel, thank you so much for the invite and being on the podcast. Too bad Trey had to duck out a little bit early. So I guess we're going to have to fire it up a little bit more in his absence. So thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you want to just kick us off, tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe what led you to start Lure Agency, and maybe just the focus, how you specifically focus on hospitality B2B sales and marketing.
Well, thank you. I'll keep the intro to a brief minimum because I am a passionate Gen Xer here, located in SoCal, San Diego. And yeah, Lure Agency, we opened the doors in 2012 on exclusive social media engagement with Facebook back in the glory days when things were amazing.
Yeah.
You could show up at a hotel, show a GM Facebook, and watch their heads explode. It was unreal at the time.
Wow.
And so since then, obviously things have changed on social, and we found a very underserved market on the B2B side because there's so many wonderful agencies serving leisure, including you guys yourself. And we feel very, very passionate about working with sales teams, traditionally, both on the independent hotel side and on the vendor side, traditionally that have long sales cycles, high ticket priced items that require a lot of trust. Yeah. So that's kind of how Lure Agency came about, through some evolution and some refinement, but that's kind of how we set the stage. And here we are, 2025 already. It's crazy. At the end.
Yeah, at the end of 2025. I know, it's wild. I love that you talked about I think I saw it on LinkedIn, but that you really focus on relationship sales and marketing. And I think that that's so important. And as you just mentioned, trust. Can you tell us a little bit about when you came to that realization, like, okay, this is really what it's all about?
Well, you hit it on the head. I mean, think about, and again, because of the nature of the clients that we work with, they're traditionally 5, maybe 6-figure sales. Mm-hmm. That's not a click to sell. That requires a lot of consideration, a lot of thought process, a lot of trust that goes along with it, a long sales cycle. I can't myself mortgage a home. Mm-hmm. The process I went through to make a buying decision like that required so much thought and so much of that. It requires trust. Yeah. And it gets back to the used car salesman. And now online, you don't have a place to run and hide. You have to be visible. You have to be out. And now with AI, it can find you if you're shady.
Yeah. Yeah. That's such a good point. So in kind of the traditional sales model, which, by the way, I love all the analogies that you guys use, sales on the rocks.
Thank you.
I love it. It's such a cool way to explain everything, and I think it connects really well. So you talk a lot about that traditional sales cycle being kind of broken, and that cold emails aren't working. What does work now? Or what are some of those other things that you're like, all right, that's out. This is what we got to be doing?
Well, now it's so easy now for us to avoid stuff that we don't want to listen to or respond to. Spam filtering, cold calls. I don't pick this phone up unless I know who's on the other end, and it could be new business, by the way.
Yeah.
That's how much I avoid not wanting to talk to sales at all. And so between that and now Apple's going to be rolling out that new call feature where you have to announce yourself. It's going to make cold prospecting so much more difficult.
Yeah.
And then I go look at my inbox and look at my spam filter, and I see all the annoying cold outreach that is just falling on deaf ears.
Yeah.
So we have to do something different. Yeah. And those are the traditional calls, check-in calls, cold email, and in person. Yeah. And that's been the go-to playbook for a lot of B2B salespeople for a long time.
Yeah. So what do they do?
What do they do?
Well, and I think something else that was like, really, I think you talked about, like, there's such a consideration period, you know, like if you're buying a home, or this is like a big ticket thing that they're doing. So a lot of them have this long time to think about it. And maybe they've already kind of made up their mind before they've even talked to you. So like, what are salespeople to do? What are they to do now?
Well, it's actually pretty simple. To be honest with you, you build content, you talk about things that solve your prospects' problems and make their lives easier. You make them the hero.
Yeah.
By empowering them and making them the hero, naturally, they're going to come to you to help them.
Yeah.
Now, it's a longer play. It doesn't always have to be that way, but traditionally, because of its a long sales cycle, trust signals, and we'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later. But if you consistently talk about what matters to your prospects, their objections, their roadblocks, and get their attention by, hey, they're speaking to me because I have that exact problem, and now they're talking about how they can solve that problem for me. I need to talk to them because they know exactly what I'm going through.
They get it.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's not that difficult, really.
Yeah. So it sounds like they almost kind of need to backtrack a little bit to like your foundations. Who are you serving? Who is that ideal person?
Yep.
Yeah. Love it.
You can't be all things to everyone, because when you try to be all things to everyone, you end up being nothing to nobody.
Yeah.
So specificity, I always get this word messed up.
No, you nailed it.
All right. Being laser focused on who your ICP is, your ideal customer profile. You need to map that avatar out, who that person is, if it's a GM, if it's an IT person, if it's a meeting planner, if it's a meeting planner in a pharma industry.
Yeah.
You start talking about not just planning events, but how others in the pharma industry have just crushed sales kickoff meetings and what they've done to exceed their sales goals. And you speak specifically to them. That micro personalization is really what's going to resonate. And it's the exact opposite of what I just talked about earlier, spray and pray.
Yeah.
Because generalization, and when you don't speak specifically to that ICP, it just falls on deaf ears.
Yeah. I think that that's so valuable and powerful for brands to hear, because I think a lot of the time you don't want to, you're kind of like afraid, well, what if I miss this person, or someone could want us for this, or, well, we could do this. I think there's a lot of that, like, but what if we're missing out on something? But I think you risk more, sounds like they're risking more by doing that than being really specific and actually going after people who they're a right fit for.
You just described not only the challenge in B2B sales, but what every hotel is dealing with right now. You go to their website and they're trying to appeal to everyone, even on the independent side. And then it becomes just another brick and mortar place where people are having a good time.
Yeah.
It is proven when you drill down and you have a brand that resonates and creates the in and out experience, like I shared a little bit earlier, when people will wait 45 minutes for a burger and fries, or
every night of the week.
every night of the week. In-N-Out's not for everybody.
Yeah.
It's not. I know quite a few people that says, I don't like it. It's not for me.
Yeah.
Brands need to lean into that and own deeply who they are. So they attract crazy ambassadors to their product. It works B2C, B2B, across the board.
Mm-hmm.
And you just got to go deep.
Well, that's where the trust comes from.
Yep.
Like those brand ambassadors who become your biggest advocates, that's where you're going to get the most referrals, the most leads. Like that's what you need.
Absolutely.
I love
those that are so incredibly happy, impressed, overwhelmed with your product or service, and that you've delivered on your promise is what we talked about before. Word of mouth, testimonials, social proof is becoming the gold standard for sales. And that obviously is part of the win strategy that we're going to bring up. But yeah, just going an inch wide and 1,000 feet deep on who you are, and not surface level. And unfortunately, owners, asset managers, and CEOs have a difficult time of being selective like that. And it's proven to work when you go specific.
Yeah, I think it just feels like you're leaving something on the table, leaving a stone unturned. But yeah, it's got to figure out a way to get that message through, huh?
Absolutely. You know it.
All right. So then you teased a little bit about this wins method, which is something new you guys have created that is super impressive. So walk us through it. You just launched it, and tell us what it is.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Shout out to one of my favorites influencers that if anybody has not read the book, They Ask You Answer, and Endless Customers. Two of my favorite reads. Marcus Sheridan is one of the best follows on LinkedIn. Amazing. The premise of give prospects really what they're asking for. And so through years of working very closely with both independent hotels and our vendors and suppliers, have created a pretty simple framework based on what we've learned. And it's a 4-step process that we try to keep it simple, break it down into a repeatable framework. And so, we've really come full circle and put together what we're calling the wins method. And it breaks down into, first and foremost, the website.
I love what you call out for this one, by the way, so I'm excited for you to share it.
Oh, thank you. And I use this analogy of the front doors of the lobby of the hotel. And I think a lot of hotels and vendors see guests or customers opening the front door, walking to the front desk, and seeing guests and customers turn around and walk right back out. At the same time, they'll run more ads, more impressions, more traffic to the site when they've got a leaky boat. You need to fix the holes in the boat first before you invite more people through your lobby front door. So optimizing that website first and foremost for conversion. And we have 5 touch points that we use, starting with FAQs, a no friction communication, make it easy for anybody to reach out, ask a basic question. Pricing now. Don't ever have a situation where you go to a page, it says get pricing, and it says click to call, book a demo. People are annoyed with that. Stop it.
See you later.
Oh my Lord. Pricing upfront. AI wants pricing. That's a huge trust signal. Have authoritative content on the site that I'd mentioned. And then a team page. People want to see the faces. They want to know who's behind the company.
Yeah.
People still do business with people they know and trust, especially on the B2B side.
Yeah.
So put your team out front and center, make them bring out their personalities. There's been quite a few tech vendors that have done a pretty good job. Muse has done a fantastic job
Yeah.
of this. And those 5 elements are the core foundation of the website. The next letter, it's much shorter, is Intel. It's your first party data. That, in organizing that and segmenting that into different, you might have, I'll use a hotel example. You might have definite business, turn down business, return business, have it segmented so you can talk to that particular guest or client separately. And on the vendor side, it's having that segmented, having your data clean, and having it being used. You've got to use that data. Next is nurture. What's that content that your company or hotel has created? And it starts with the ROS framework: roadblocks, objections, stories, and solutions. Those 4 elements naturally starts with the sales team. What sales objections are they having? What roadblocks? Why aren't deals being done? And in creating content specifically to address those pain points.
Well, and that's like the best, like they're on the front lines. So take what they're like, that's the intel you're paying research projects for sometimes. Like, that's what you want, so you can fix it. Get rid of all of that.
Totally. And it could be very specific and unique just to your company. Like, we've heard it was a long walk to the convention center, or on the vendor side, we heard onboarding was really difficult. We don't want to do that. So it's important, first and foremost, to get those objections, roadblocks from your team, for sure.
Yeah.
And then you can use other tools to do more of a high level topics that people are talking about online, sediment.
Yeah.
Obviously onboarding is a big one on the tech side. People don't, that's a painful process. And then the last one is sell, the fun part.
Yeah.
Honing your skills on LinkedIn, and social selling in particular. So using the content, be able to engage in conversations on LinkedIn, and ultimately move that offline into a phone conversation, and hopefully a discovery or, introductory call, where that's really where the magic happens with B2B, because it's not a click to book or click to buy. It's a conversation before any of those decisions are made. So 4 steps, pretty simple to understand.
Yeah.
And I think we've broken it down, the process, into really easy, understandable sessions that works. And that is a proven method.
Okay, I have 2 questions. So you talked about price, and from working in-house, that was always a hot topic. We can't list the price. Yes, we do need to have the price, but everyone is different. So what price do we list? So do you just do like a ballpark, or like starting at? You
nailed it.
Okay.
Yes. And Marcus talks about this in his book. There's always somebody that comes up, but we're different. We can't possibly talk about price up front. Nonsense. Because here's the deal. I can find it a ballpark anyways. If I go to ChatGPT, it's going to give me a rate. It might not be right.
Yeah.
So playing defense and hiding that type of data, it's a losing strategy right now. You hit it, starting from, or a range, whatever it is, give him an illustration to begin the conversation, because surprise, that means you're not scared to talk about it up front.
Yeah.
And I can tell you one of the most traffic pages on our website, surprise, price.
Well, and then I feel like too, you don't waste your time. Exactly. Someone comes there and they're like, oh, definitely this is out of our budget. Not the right fit. And you don't, like, that's not what you want anyways, because then you're going to have disappointment. And like, if someone's super price sensitive or maybe pushing their budget, that's not really what you want anyways. There's so much more room for a negative experience or just high pressure. And I'm with you.
And so that's where the content, what I was talking about earlier, comes into
Yeah.
play. If you're going to alleviate a potential problem or a pain point for a prospect that is so unbearable, they need to solve it, and they know you can solve it for them, price becomes secondary.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'll find the budget. Especially
Such
if
a good point.
they're losing 5 times on that on the back end and they can solve it now.
Yeah.
That's why content is so incredibly important.
Can you give me some examples of content types that you think do the best job at that?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I think we'd mentioned here exactly what we're doing right now. On our podcast, we come up with topics we know the industry is struggling with. In fact,
Yeah.
right now, both of our topics this month is on prospecting, and we're
Mhm.
calling it warm prospecting, by the way,
Yeah.
because nobody likes to cold prospect. Of why we just talked about earlier.
Yeah.
So we've come up. We have another system we're rolling out that actually applies to the brands too. That affectionately calls it warm prospecting. And so because a lot of content now, the lazy content creators go straight to Chat GPT and they'll put in write me a blog post um, on warm prospecting for a hotel
Yeah.
sales team. Well, it's going to look very generic, and
Yeah.
it's probably going to look like a lot of others articles that you may have read. And we found that if we start with a interview first with a subject matter expert on this exact same topic first,
Such a good idea.
it's always unique.
Yeah.
So it will never be replicated, or somebody's not going to copy it. You add your own particular style and punch to it. Um, and then you have the video component, which is the most powerful. The video goes on YouTube, which is a massive trust signal for AI agentic search.
Yeah.
And then you extract the script and you write the written portion and include that on your blog. So that has
So
been a
smart.
huge area, and a relatively easy, natural way to produce content. And then from that, you snip that all out and drip that out over weeks of snackable content that leads back to the long form. So
Yeah.
so it's a pretty easy. There's no complicated,
Yeah.
ads or anything else. It's all organic if you do it right. And so it's the video
More.
for sure.
Yeah. So I just from my own colleagues and from experience, LinkedIn can sometimes feel like an intimidating place. I
Mhm.
think for sales managers who have been in their role for a long time and they're trying to get used to this new way of doing things. So, sounds like that is an important place for them to be showing up.
You hit a huge, it's been amazing conversations I've had, because a lot of us are going, where are all the hotel salespeople at?
Yeah.
The entire MPI community, their planners and their ICPs they're
Yeah.
all there.
Yeah.
And I think you're absolutely right. I think there's a lot of pressure with sellers that they need to do all ABC, always be closing, and when they try to be self promotion, it's not resonating,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where they need to lean into using LinkedIn just like they walked into an in-person networking
Like a
event. You
trade
would
event.
never walk up and say, "Hey, I'm Cory Falter. Buy my product."
Yeah.
You would start with small talk and comment on somebody, and you would warm up, and
Yeah.
then ultimately you would hopefully share some insights and talk about the family and this and that, and warm that up and do
Yeah.
perhaps a conversation. And so if sellers did nothing but jump in on comments, broke their like button, don't like posts. Likes do nothing for you
Yeah.
at all.
Leave a comment.
Leave a comment. Leave a thought, by the way, leave a thoughtful comment.
Yeah.
Not just congrats in the emoji with the party favors coming out.
The
I can't,
automatic one, it fills in for you.
oh my Lord. What and here's one of the reasons why I think commenting is so important. It's a great way for somebody to tiptoe and get used to not the pressure of creating content. But if you've noticed, LinkedIn's added an impression counter.
Yeah.
Leaving a thoughtful comment on somebody else's topic, especially if you are able to add insights, solve someone's problems to a question.
Mhm.
I've had comments of tens of thousands of impressions on my one comment, and I've gotten DMs directly from that saying, "Hey, wow, Cory, that was interesting what you said on this. Can you tell me a little bit more on a call?"
Amazing.
It's I would say it's easy, and the bar is so low right now. It's
Yeah,
incredible.
that's awesome.
So
Well, and it's funny. I think that the more that you are on LinkedIn, the more connections that you make. I mean, also this industry in general is super friendly. Hospitality professionals are like, the
absolutely.
more the merrier. You're from here, great. So I think it's also a little less pressure. Like, just do that. Leave a comment, connect with them. People are excited. And the more that you're on it and the more you connect with people, you start to see that this world that we live in is a little bit smaller than we think. And it's so fun to see, oh, they're connected with them, they're connected with them. And I think that adds this extra layer of trust, because if you get a connection from someone and they're connected to a bunch of people that you already are connected with and know, you're like, oh, absolutely accept, because you're good people.
Absolutely.
You're already connected with my people. Great. And I think that makes such a difference.
It does. Now, I'm going to say something that's a little controversial.
Okay. Oh boy, here we go.
You know what's going to even get, you said hospitality is friendly and warm, and it
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
but it's also an echo chamber.
True.
So I'm going to get back to what we talked about earlier. I'm trying to be everything to all people.
Yeah.
Do not be afraid to disagree.
I
Push
love that.
back.
Yeah.
You'll earn respect and get a lot more tension on yourself, and not be a troublemaker. But if you generally do not agree with a particular post or comment, and you can add a constructive comment by saying, I understand, or I understood that, but in our experience, it's done this way. So you're not being
Yeah.
controversial, but you're just saying, I do have personal experience, and that's not what we're experiencing on the other side.
Yeah.
And get a different conversation. And I think that's really where a lot of aha moments come from, because I think a lot of us just go along to get along, and
Yeah.
nothing changes. I'm sure you realize, we talked
Yeah.
about it earlier.
Yeah.
This is a slow changing industry. And I think a lot of it's because
No one wants to rock the boat.
bingo. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I think I think you can do anything like that, have a dialogue in a really respectful way. But
Big
I think
time.
people are just so nervous, cancel culture and like, oh, well, if I
Totally.
say the wrong thing, but especially if there's something that's constructive or like, well, actually, like, I've been in this field for 25 years and this is kind of what we found to be the most success, but glad that was your experience. You know what I mean? And then that resonates with other
Exactly.
people. Maybe people had an experience like you. And so then you're connecting with people on that level. I think that's just, we shouldn't be afraid to share your thoughts.
And you're right. Your cancel culture is a thing, and I've been called out before, and sometimes you got to be really sensitive on that. But I've learned to craft my message, so it's like
Yeah.
it's in my humble opinion, this is, and
Yeah.
so no, don't be afraid to get out there, share your thoughts confidently and boldly. By the way, don't be afraid also to be funny. I've noticed humor. I try to weigh into humor a lot more. I use Friday as my just let it fly Fridays. I've had so many people just reach out, have nothing to do with what I'm talking about in hospitality, but just because, hey, I thought your meme was funny, or we connected on those levels. So
Yeah.
bring out your personality on LinkedIn. It's fun.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid.
I love that. Okay, so kind of circling back to the wins method.
Yeah.
So you've been doing this method and running this framework with your clients. Can you share some maybe successes that you've seen or how this has transformed a brand sales approach?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I can't disclose revenue numbers
For sure.
specifically, but what we've seen working closely with our hotel partners and the vendor side is they're receiving anywhere between 5, as many as 20 qualified inbound leads direct from their website.
Wow.
And so when I say qualified leads, and this is where the difference, because I know I think a little bit farther down, you talk about CVent leads, and that's
Yeah.
okay. So this is why we're leaning into the notion of direct, because on the hotel side, as you know, Rachel, the hotels are dependent on third parties on the OTAs on the leisure side, equally with third parties on the group side. So the notion of having more direct business come in should be music to everyone's ears. And so many hotels are missing out on low-hanging fruit. So the reason why direct is so important is because of the WINS methodology and the content and the DIY method of self-educating them. When they do reach out and they do book a discovery call or a form fill, they've read a lot of content on the website. They may have seen pricing. They may have looked at the FAQ page and the team page.
They're ready to go.
They're way down that funnel.
Yeah.
And so they're converting anywhere from 20 to 50%. And so the sales, that's why the 80% is so critical. You're doing it. I'm doing it. We're doing DIY, our buyer's journey. I don't want to talk to sales until I'm ready. You probably don't either, right?
Yep, I hear you.
So that's the beautiful thing about when you're optimizing and you're giving your prospects all the answers to the questions up front. So when they do reach out to you, it's a relatively easy process on details. How does this look? What's the onboarding look like? And so self-serving buyer's journey equates into an incredibly seamless sales process.
I love that. A self-serving buyer's journey. Like that, I think you need to title something that, because that I think that sums up the whole thing. They want to be in control. I think buyers now are so savvy. They want the tools to be able to educate themselves before they actually have to talk to someone about it.
Absolutely. In fact, it's funny you underscored buyer's journey because it wasn't always called that.
Yeah.
It was called the sales journey. Now buyers are in control because I got ChatGPT and I can shortlist my own CRM or event space or anything I want on my own accord with an incredible prompt that ChatGPT will write for me. I used the example of our new CRM. I did it all myself. HubSpot, Salesforce, Pipedrive, all the big players. And I did it myself. And I did it like in a half an hour run, one demo, done.
Wow. Yeah. They just they're like more sophisticated.
Well, and they've got the content out there that's fueling the engine. And see, that's where I'm getting back to the companies that we're talking about before. We landed on our CRM because they were giving me the content I needed to make a educated decision of all the questions I was asking. And it literally side by side compared all my finalists down, and it gave me a recommendation on which one I should go with based on these. And I made a quick decision because I felt confident. I had the information I needed. Done. And it's making the buyer's journey so much seamless. I didn't have to talk to sales, and it was amazing.
So are you seeing that sales window shrink when brands can do all of the things that you're recommending? Like it's much shorter conversion time.
There you go. Absolutely. Yeah. Think about all the big decisions, purchasing decisions of, a cable company or a landscape, something that's going to require you kind of put it off, you put it on hold, because it's a daunting task traditionally, because you would have to go through all the things I was talking about.
Yeah.
But now I'm my own financial planner. I'm my own lawyer. I'm making decisions on my family trust now that I didn't know how to fund my trust. And it's been sitting there forever.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I'm taking off my task list so much in confidence now because I'm making the right decision. So absolutely 100%.
I think it's going to catch up to brands where there's going to be not really another option. You're going to have to. You're going to have to adopt this sooner or later.
So just be visible.
Get on board now, because it's just, I love it. All right. So a little bit, we chatted quickly just about CVEN and the RFPs and all of that. So these are pain points that you specifically call out. And what is broken in the traditional RFP or C-vent approach, and how does the wins method fix that?
Great question, because much like we talked about with the OTAs,
Yeah.
there's a little bit of a catch-22 when it comes to the group side and C-vent leads, third-party leads.
Yeah.
They convert at 3 to 5%.
Oh my gosh, that's it, really?
Yep. So if you can imagine putting in half an hour at the minimum, an hour into a proposal, send it off, not sure if you're gonna what kind of shot you have at the
Yeah.
business. You don't necessarily need to. You can't talk to the person on the other end. It's a very opaque process, and you're in this hamster wheel. And as you probably have talked, because you talk to group salespeople all the time,
Yeah.
they're on a hamster wheel, so busy responding to whatever comes in.
Yeah.
When you have a direct pipeline of direct inquiries that come directly from the website, which could be admins and executive assistants who, by the way, aren't using C-vent or third-party planners because they don't even know they exist.
Right.
They're using good old ChatGPT and Google to find their venue. They form fill directly. And that's as much as we're finding 50, 70% of the hotel's business now is coming from non-professional planners.
Wow. Well, yeah, because these days you don't really have to be a professional planner to find a space. I mean, you used to have to. It used, that's just how the game was played. But now with Google, I mean, anyone can Google anything.
and that admin is now wearing the meeting planner hat.
Yeah.
For the company, and so many more we're finding that are coming direct admins, and they need a lot of hand holding.
Right. Yeah, because they're maybe not as familiar, but they're still the ones doing the outreach.
Which is a wonderful way to build a new relationship, not based on price.
Yeah.
So when they come in direct, it's not commissionable to third-party planners. And by the way, planners, this is not a slam on any planners at all.
We love planners.
Absolutely. We're just trying to show hotels that they're missing some low-hanging fruit with the admins and executive assistants that are coming in, that could be coming in direct. So optimizing for direct to get the low-hanging fruit while the planners are still part of the process. But when you've got that direct coming in, you've got a better way to pull those levers. And maybe if your pipeline's full with direct and you need some RFP business, you've got a lot more flexibility, and when you're driving your own business, it's a lot more scalable and manageable. And by the way, direct leads convert at, now we're looking at 50% leads. So,
and it feels a lot less like critical, I think, when you're not like, well, we have to get the leads from C-vent, we're behind our goals, we've got it, like if you can get the majority of that direct, and it's like, oh, all right. It doesn't feel like you're just, like you said, the hamster wheel, just chasing after it so much.
Absolutely. And so there's definitely some mind shift share that's going to need to happen, because it's been that way for so long.
Yeah.
But our partners are experiencing direct, and they know how much more valuable a direct inquiry from the website is. But here's the kicker. Most hotels, and this is a big one, if you go to most independent resorts or hotel the meetings and events pages of the website, you can't simply just reach out and ask a question. You have to go through an RFP form on their website.
Oh my gosh.
And so the recommendation, this is the easiest low-hanging fruit, is add an easy short form on the website. First name, last name, email address. How can we help you?
Amazing.
That's it.
Yeah.
You will get direct inquiries.
And that's would take your web team maybe a minute, 2 minutes.
Exactly. Imagine how much business is just turning away because they're like, I don't even know what an RFP form is, and I don't want to fill out 20 forms of this with my social security number, birth date. I'm not doing this.
Well, and I think at the early stages too, the really initial consideration period, half the time you don't even know what your total numbers are going to be yet.
Exactly.
Like you're just trying to get some more info. And so if you don't have enough on your meetings and events page, then make an easy way for them to ask.
Absolutely. Funniest thing you mentioned that. the biggest one is some force even some to pick a date. Some of
Yeah.
these people are like, look, we need midweek in December sometime. Do you have anything available before I go
Yeah.
through everything else? But oftentimes they don't even have the ability just to ask a basic question. And now we're seeing planners even ask that.
Yeah.
So hotels, and this is where the unfortunate brands, you guys, well, we've got a workaround for that we're working on. But independents have an ability to add that short form to the website today
Yeah.
to get more direct inquiries. Piece of
Yeah.
cake.
Easy. So everyone
Easy.
that's listening, that's your task for today.
There we go.
I love it.
And that goes equally on the vendor side. Do
Yeah.
not make it jumping through hoops
Yeah.
to ask a basic question without getting on a phone call with anybody.
Yeah.
Self-serve as much as you can online
Mm-hmm.
so that they reach out in confidence and hopefully end up booking a discovery call
Yeah.
or demo right there.
No, it's funny that you say that because even I'm so much more likely if I can get the gist of what I need to know or what I'm after from the website first, then yeah, 9 times out of 10, I'll say, all right, I think this is going to fit my needs. I do want to do a quick call. Just I want to cover a couple other things with a person before we move forward. But if there's nothing and it's just book a demo, I'm like, ugh, you know?
Exactly. It's funny you say that because part of my notes here I mentioned is oftentimes founders and CEOs and hotel salespeople are not putting themselves in their prospect's shoes.
Yeah.
If you were on the other side of that and you were presented with your buyer's journey, what would you think? Would you? And I think that simple role reversal right now can be enlightening. Go through your own buyer's journey on your website and just go, would this appeal to me? What would I do? Would I want to receive that cold outreach that I just hit send on?
Yeah. We just talked about this with another guest about even just your booking, like go through the booking process. Does it work?
Absolutely.
Does it make sense to you, or have your spouse or a family friend who isn't as familiar go through and do it and see if they can do it without the insider knowledge that you have of your site? Because I think there's a lot of times little nuances or things that you're familiar with, but someone else coming in, they're like, wait, I would have no idea where to find that.
Exactly.
So,
that's absolutely a great tip. It's almost like it is a secret shopper, sort of, right?
Yeah,
From an
kind
online
of. Yeah. Yeah. Love it.
Yes.
So one thing that always comes up in this industry, and we just published our 20th episode last week.
Oh,
And
congrats. That's
thanks.
awesome.
And it was really cool to look back because almost every single person that we talked to talked about how really at the end of the day, the human connection and the trust is at the core of everything. Like that is the most important thing. So I wanted to just quickly get your take. So even with all of the AI and automations available, how important and where does the human connection or human touch still matter most in B2B hospitality sales?
Well, you laid out a really great foundation there. And at the core of that is trust.
Yeah.
I use this this line all the time that always resonated me. Trust takes years to build and seconds to destroy.
I love that.
How are you, if we can all agree trust needs to be established before anybody is going to purchase a high ticket item from you, i.e. software solution on the vendor side or an event on the hotel side. So if trust is at the core, trust is needed for them to agree, sign the contract, send a payment, then how are you going to build that by sending spray and pray cold outreach, not taking the time to build a relationship first and foremost to get to understand what problems are plaguing your prospect, how can you help solve their problems, building rapport, sending them social proof. How you don't go from zero to trust like that. That's not how trust works. It's like asking someone's hand in marriage without a very long, extensive dating process. Well, in most cases, right? It just does not happen. And we have to ask them, would you buy something from somebody you did not know or did not trust And if that's the case, are you doing what needs to be done to build overwhelming trust with your prospects?
I'm sure someone has also has already come up with this, but it's almost like we need to reframe the sales funnel to like the trust funnel.
Love
Different
that.
levels of trust.
I love that.
Because
Yes.
each way, that's what you're trying to do, You
Yeah,
start with
small talk, a little
uh-huh.
banter back and forth. Oh, how are the kids?
Yep.
Right?
There you go.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I like it.
New LinkedIn post.
I think you're onto something there. Like that trust funnel. All
I think
right.
that's what you're doing, right? You're
Absolutely.
starting it's like if you were to go into an event, like you say, you're going to a sales event, you walk in, can't just start by saying, and you ready to book? Just
Totally.
like you
You
said,
have
you
any
got to,
needs?
yeah, you got any needs.
Because they use that all the time. I use that jokingly. With my my cohort Celeste Burke, who's
Yeah.
really awesome. Do you have any need? Because oftentimes it's been, hey, we have need dates available. Well,
Uh-huh.
I've got needs, you've got needs,
Let's
right?
match up those needs.
That's so funny.
I love it. All right. Well, now that Wins is officially live, what's next? What are you most excited about? You teased a couple things to us that you guys have in the works over Allure, but what else is coming?
Oh yeah, we're onboarding 2 branded properties right now on a sliver of the Wins framework,
Awesome.
and we're affectionately calling it warm prospecting. And we're using little parts of that. At the core of that is what we're affectionately called email touch points, never e-blasts, right?
Yeah.
So they're emails of value that they can send out to their prospects that they've got thousands of prospects in their sales and catering system collecting dust.
Yeah. Do something, guys.
There's opportunity in there right there.
Yeah.
Just stay top of mind with them with value, something funny. It could be anything that cracks a smile.
Yeah.
The beautiful thing is when people click on that email, they come back to the website or the landing page we're going to create for them. They can track the activity, find out if there's some level of intent there, which we're calling warm,
Love it.
and then go try to engage with them on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
maybe comment on a post, try to move them offline into a DM.
Yeah.
A different way to go outbound instead of the typical regimen we started this conversation
Yeah.
on. Checking emails that are cold and picking up the phone and calling.
Yeah.
And then we're rolling out in 2 weeks Sales on Tap, which is a whole different new hotel, and it's specifically for hotel sales teams that find or may have not experienced traditional sales training where it's, the trainer comes in, it's kind of a one and done.
Yep.
But if we found retention really starts to wane when there's no reinforcement there. So we've put together snackable training modules on primarily prospecting, social selling into a community that's gamified, that's going to have a very fun, lighthearted way to sales train over coffee 10 minutes a day that you can go back and rewatch. And we're gonna support that with weekly calls to talk about what's going on, the market shift. Maybe there's another tariff issue or a government shutdown. And again, another beverage concept. It's Sales on Tap. It kind of pours nicely, no pun, into our whole food and beverage theme. And it's 3 of us. Yeah, sorry. And
no, go ahead.
So my partner at Lure Agency, Susan, myself, and then Celeste Burke nicely. And she's an amazing sales trainer, certified gap seller. So she was a hotel salesperson. Yeah. Now she's selling enterprise level and SaaS products on the enterprise level. So she's bringing a lot of modern prospecting back to hospitality, of building your own pipeline. So it's going to be amazing.
Well, and I think that's perfect, especially for independent hotels who maybe don't have this corporate structure with ongoing sales training. It's kind of like, where do you find it? Well, here you go. Here is like your modern day method, your modern day training. And I love the community component that you're building into that, because that's what it is, right? It's That's how you find the warm leads. It's how you make the human connection. That is the core of everything. So it's so exciting. Super,
Thank
super
you.
exciting that that's coming out. When is that expected to be live, or can we not say that yet?
Yeah, no, we're launching. I believe it's the 19th or 2 weeks.
Awesome.
We did a pre-session with a beta group. They're going to come on next week, get their feet wet, and then yeah, we're actually going to announce it that following week. So super
Amazing.
excited about it. Yeah, it's amazing.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Well, and if anyone's listening and thinking, this is what I need, where can they find you?
I just happen to be completely obsessed and loitering on LinkedIn, except right now, of course. You can always find me at LinkedIn, Cory Falter, and then obviously lureagency.com. But I just love meeting new people, engaging in so many amazing conversations on LinkedIn. It's my new partner, Celeste, I met on LinkedIn, and now we're business partners. I've only met her twice in person, but we had so much trust just building a relationship online. I met her in person. It was almost like we were best friends. Please, people, you're missing out. If you like meeting people, holy moly, it's crazy. It's amazing. So yes, meet me there.
Well, and that's how we connected. So
yes,
I agree. Get on
right?
LinkedIn, and I'm telling myself that too, because I need to be on there more as well. So
all right, there's a challenge for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I love it. Well, Cory, thank you so much for your time today. Your insights were just so valuable. We love what you're creating over at Lure. I think that is this missing piece that will be so valuable for hotels and vendors. I think it's just going to be awesome. So we're excited to see that grow and the community grow with Sales on Tap. So we're excited to watch that. And if you want to check out more Foundry Talks, you can find us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Rachel, thank you so much for inviting me. It's been an awesome conversation, as I had a feeling it would be. So I definitely, I'm blown away. We had some great combos here. So thanks again for the invite.
Absolutely, anytime. Thanks so much, Cory.
You bet. Take care.